Welcome to the Flavors to Savor at SIP Niagara. I'm Jeremy Parsons and I'm going to be doing 3 different Niagara Bruschettas, pairing them up with 2 awesome wines and a bunch of great ciders. So as always, let's start off with a great mimosa. So I'm going to be using Fresh's Sparkling Rosé. This has got some great watermelon and strawberry tones, but it's still nice and dry, so great for mixing. Now, whenever you're opening up a sparkling wine, you always want to keep your hand on the cork. And then you want to twist from the bottom because the heat from your hand will actually cause all the wine to pop out. So you just twist the bottom, release, and boom, and it's gonna be perfect every single time and nobody loses an eye because nobody wants to. So we're gonna add in Fresh's Sparkling. And I'm gonna be topping this off with a sparkling passion fruit juice. This works so well together because of the dryness of the sparkling. This adds just a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of acidity that works well with the watermelon and strawberry flavors that we're going for. Super easy, beautiful, and exotic, yet local mimosa. Oh, I could drink these all day and probably will, but we've got to cook. So we're gonna roast up some garlic. This gives so much flavor if you're using it for pestos, for spreads. Just grab your fresh Ontario garlic and just cut off the top. So I'm gonna place it onto a small cookie sheet and pop it into my toaster oven actually for 90 minutes. And this is gonna be a 350 convection. And this is gonna give it perfect roasting time. And it's gonna wind up coming out like a garlic butter. And the reason why it's gonna do that is because we're using an infused olive oil. So I'm using Joyful Lynn's maple bacon Caesar rim that I've infused in olive oil. This is such a great trick. So what I'm gonna do is pour this right over top of the buds and then wrap it up. So here we go. Be liberal with it because the actual paper on the garlic is going to seep in and really pull up a lot of that oil. So we want to make sure that we've got enough in there to make that sort of beautiful garlic butter. So what we're going to do is wrap this up. You want to make sure that the envelope is nice and tight because you want to keep all the humidity inside, otherwise it dries out and it's not going to be all that creamy. So we're going to pop this into the convection oven and then we're going to start toasting our bread and start making those bruschettas.
In a really hot pan, we've added in our infused olive oil and added in our bread. We want it to be smoking hot so that it toasts the bread and doesn't absorb too much of the oil.
So now we've got our bread beautifully toasted and still nice and warm, and we're gonna start assembling our Niagara Bruschetta. So I've got some Nanny Noir here. This is a beautiful, soft, ripened cheese. And what I'm gonna do is just cube this up. And we're gonna mix it together with some hickory and honey glazed bacon. How delicious does that sound? And then we're gonna put that together with some grapes. So I'm gonna show you a really cool technique that's gonna bring all this together so that it looks great on our bread. Obviously, I'm only gonna do 3 because we only have time for that. But we're gonna mix them all into this bowl. So here is our cheese. I'm adding in our bacon. And you want it to be crispy but still gooey, which means cook it on high heat, watch it, turn it all the time, and make things happen. So I've got some beautiful Niagara grapes. Look at these little guys. They are delicious. You can just pull them right off. So I've got a whole group of blue, green, and Moscato. So these are great. And you don't even have to cut them because they're so small. They actually literally just burst and pop as they cook. And they caramelize. So now we're gonna kind of move all this together in the bowl. We're gonna add in some fresh Sauvignon Blanc. Just a little bit of wine is gonna be amazing. When the bacon fat starts to melt, it's gonna pull everything together. Okay, now because our bruschetta is making some wine, I should too. This Sauvignon Blanc has got some really nice minerality, but it's not too dry, so it works great with savory flavors like this. Cheers. Delish. I have to get my palate going too, you know. So here we go. Let's get 3 of our toasts down. So what we're gonna do is just grab this and put an equal amount onto every single piece of bread. We've got some great amount of cheese on here. We've got the grapes. You wanna make sure that you've got equal amounts of cheese because that's really what's gonna help keep it all combined, along with that wine in there. And what an awesome trick that is. The bacon is just going to seal the deal, but the wine is gonna bring out all the flavors. Plus, it melds really well when you're serving this. I'm gonna add just a little bit more on here. So obviously I would slice these up right before you're gonna serve them, and allow them to cool a little bit so that there isn't that much slippage. Nobody likes slippage on the bruschetta. So let's get on to our next one. Okay, here we go. So let's make a little bit of room. So the next one that we're gonna do is a beautiful prosciutto salami, also from Niagara. This has got such great flavor. It works super well with sweet. Do you see where I'm going with this? There's a lot of beautiful honey in Niagara, and we are gonna be adding some right now. So this is a creamed honey, and I'm literally just gonna scrape it out of here and lay it on top. Now this is so good and beautiful. The flavor is awesome, and again, it helps with any kind of slippage because as soon as this heats up, it's just gonna ooze all the way across and then keep our bruschetta together. Bruschetta together, did you see what I did there? There we go, that's enough. We can always add something on later if we want. This is some heritage cheese. This is from Upper Canada Cheese Company, and it's almost like a Parmesan. So it has just a great sort of pungent, salty kind of flavor and just beautiful for texture as well as taste. So I'm gonna put that on there and mixing in with the honey, the saltiness, and then that great earthy tone of the prosciutto salami, boom, it's gonna bring it all together. Are you ready for our next one? Here we go, guys. So I'm gonna have to make a little bit more room here. So we're gonna add them around. Hey, this is part of cooking, you know, you gotta maneuver some things. So I've got some grilled peaches that I cooked on the highest rack on high on my barbecue. I sprayed them with a little bit of olive oil, and when you know what happens, you get that beautiful crustiness on there. And then it just kind of oozes in. It's almost like butter. There we go. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And then I've got some nice spicy sausage. This is so good. So again, we've got the saltiness in there, we have the sweetness from the caramelized peaches, and then I'm gonna put this right on top, just kind of layer it around. I'm actually going to try not to get it onto the other bruschetta. I'm gonna put this together. There we go. So this is looking good. Now we've got some Gertzie grill. So what we're gonna do with this is actually fry it up, put it on top after these bruschettas come out of the oven, and then I'm gonna show you what that garlic butter looks like. So I'm gonna add in some more of my infused olive oil, drop in the cubes, get them nice and hot, making sure that they don't stick to the pan. These guys are nice and golden brown and just ooey gooey goodness. Perfect for adding onto our bruschetta. So our Guernsey grilled cheese is absolutely perfect, nice and crusty on the outside and ooey gooey in the inside. All you gotta do is pull it apart and drop it on. Our garlic came out perfectly after 90 minutes at 350 on convection bake. Man, the aromatics are incredible and it comes out just like butter. We can smear this on any of the bruschetta and it's gonna taste fantastic. So there we have our 3 amazing Niagara bruschettas paired up with those beautiful fresh wines. Next, we're gonna do a shiny apple cocktail with peaches from Pine View Orchards. They're actually gonna be setting up an amazing Thanksgiving marketplace. So I'm putting in our barbecued peaches. Next, I'm gonna add in Niagara Falls Craft Distillers maple whiskey. Yes, it's a healthy pour because we're gonna be making 2 cocktails. We don't want any of that shiny to go to waste. Now, I'm gonna shake this up, and what's gonna happen is there's a chemical reaction between the alcohol and the actual fruit. And so it breaks down those essential oils and the caramelization on the peel, and it creates an amazing flavor. So here we go. So those peaches are nice and pulverized. Oh, and you got all the little charred bits of skin on there as well. We're gonna pour it into our glasses, make it nice and chunky, and then topping it off with shiny apple cider. Here we go, guys. And beautiful food, great cocktails, and amazing company. Well, hey, that's SIP Niagara, October 1st and 2nd. I'm Jeremy Parsons, and I'll see you sipping. Cheers. Oh, amazing.